Hey guys, it's David and Laura and Michael from BamaHomestead. Well, Michael's playing on the floor. But we were going to make a video. We were going to make a video as a collaboration with Big Family Homestead. If you guys don't know who they are, you should go follow them. They have a great channel. Awesome people. And we decided about 2 weeks ago to create a little collaboration called the 5 top mistakes new homesteaders make, because there are a lot of them that you can make. We're fairly new homesteaders. We weren't born into it. I was raised in the city when I was younger, and I've always wanted to have a farm or a homestead, and Laura was not really raised around it either. Michael will be, fortunately, so that's a good thing.
And I'm gonna grow up.
Yes, you are.
Like big like Dad.
That's right.
I'm gonna be like Dad.
That's right. But so let's just dive right into it. One of the first mistakes we think that I thought about was overestimating your skills. I think that if anybody thinks that anybody has a dream to create a homestead, that they are going to go out there and automatically just throw some seeds in the dirt and raise some chickens and get some goats and raise a cow and raise a pig and know how to preserve all the food that you cook, and just think that it's super easy. People overestimate what they think they know how to do, and the truth is it's extremely difficult if you've never done it before. If you were raised on a farm, I'm sure you have a pretty general idea, but if you're a new homesteader and you want to raise chickens and you want to raise goats and you want to raise rabbits for meat and you want to raise hogs and cows and you want to garden and all of that, there's little idiosyncrasies that go with each of those little subjects. You know, the chickens can get certain ailments the turkeys can't get, and the rabbits can get ailments, and the goats can get sick, and you have to really study and know how without just jumping the gun and going buying all of them. It's easy to go start a homestead and go buy 10 chickens and 10 turkeys and, you know, a handful of rabbits and start thinking that you're going to raise your own food and start hatching your own eggs and everything, but there's a lot that goes into it. And we did kind of that. We went and bought, I don't know, 20 chickens, and we bought
silkies.
We bought silkies.
First time, and thought that we were going to have a big, you know, a bunch of egg layers and silkies. I mean, and if you know anything about, if you know anything about them, they're not a big multi-functioning chicken.
They're not.
And we bought chickens, rabbits, and goats.
Yeah, we went out, we jumped the gun and we bought a bunch of weird breeds that you wouldn't normally get on a homestead. I mean, the silkies serve a great purpose. They make good mothers, but we had bought Polishes, little top hat ones, and those are ridiculous for a homestead. I mean, they're all more of a novelty chicken. The one thing we did do good is we bought a bunch of Golden Comets, and those are engineered to lay eggs, big brown eggs. But we started off with a bunch of Polish and a bunch of silkies, and those aren't really the type of ones you want when you start a homestead with. The other thing that we jumped into was rabbits, and we had more rabbits we knew what to do with, and so we were constantly having to make cages and you know, jump through hoops to try to handle every issue. Rabbits have babies every, you know, 3 or 4 months if you want them to, and they have babies in 30 days, so it multiplies quickly.
We became overwhelmed before we knew it.
We're not now, because we've grown accustomed to it and we made changes, but it's something you can easily get overwhelmed with. If you want to get chickens, and this is a whole other subject, I would just get a few good production birds, 4 or 5, to give your family enough eggs every day, rather than try to have 25 or 30 and have a whole flock.
And we got goats, rabbits, and turkeys.
And the second thing that we want to touch base on kind of goes along with the first, is trying to do everything all at once. Trying to raise chickens for eggs and for meat, and trying to raise other animals and goats for milk and cows for milk, and doing it all at once. Going out in the first 6 months and buying every type of animal you always wanted on the farm, and putting a garden in, and then buying pressure canners and dehydrators and jars and trying to do it all at once. It's extremely overwhelming. I would recommend becoming skilled at one thing and then moving on to the next. in doing that all at once too, it's easy to, I'm going to stray into another topic, but it's easy to overwhelm yourself when you're picking spots out for these animals. We have put our animals in places that I wish now that we hadn't, and now we're having to move them and jockey them around because we thought this place would be good and when it wasn't. So take some time to plan out your land or your homestead on what you're going to be doing, and don't dive in 100%. You know, pick off a few things. If you like to garden, have a huge garden, learn how to can and preserve it before you jump into raising some type of meat animal or some type of dairy animal. The third one is, a lot of people have the notion that they're going to start a homestead and make money and quit their day job. That's not the case at all. Unless you have 100 acres and 30 head of cattle or something, or you start a chicken house farm and you have, you know, 200,000 chickens and 14 chicken houses, you're not going to make enough money to quit your day job. I still work full-time. Laura's a stay-at-home mom right now. She was driving a bus for the school district and will probably go back to that. Fortunately, God bless, I make a decent money to where she can stay home right now, but that's not something that selling eggs and meat and produce is not going to substantiate our income to where we could quit. Maybe if we didn't have any bills, but like everybody else, we have bills, so it's not something that's feasible at this point in time. Is it something we're striving to do? Of course, but it's not something that you're going to quit your job in the first year and think that you're going to start selling eggs and make a mortgage payment with it, because it's just not going to happen. And some people have that dream and that idea, so some of you might think, oh, that's crazy, who would do that? There are folks out there that do it. And that's just a tip from us that we have, our third one. The fourth one is thinking that it's going to be an easy life and that your life will be normal. And I'm speaking to those that aren't homesteading and that move into it. There's no big long vacations. There is no leaving for the weekend. I mean, you can do those things if you have someone that you can trust and that can help you out, but there is always something to do every moment of every day. Every morning, bright and early, there's animals to tend to and feed, because these animals rely on you to feed them so they can provide for your family. There is no off time. It is a constant chore. It really is, but it's also rewarding too, because these animals and these gardens and this milk that you get and the seeds that you plant all turn into a harvest that you yourself created, so you know where it comes from, and it tastes better, and there's a whole long list of reasons why we do it. But it is not for the faint of heart. It's not for somebody with back problems or disabilities or the time to do it. Don't go start a homestead if you work 70 hours a week and can't get any less time than that. Your animals will suffer, your garden will suffer, and ultimately your family will suffer. So just make sure that you have time to do it all. It is definitely there is always something going on, whether it's something giving birth or something died or the vegetables need picking or a trench needs dug or something. There's always something going on, or a goat needs milked, etc. So there's always something going on. So we kind of deliberated back and forth on the fifth one, and we kind of settled on, and it kind of ties into the making money with your homestead. And a lot of people want to get into homesteading because they think that they're going to live off the land and raise their own animals and not rely on the store, and it's going to be cheaper. And the key word there is cheaper. It is not cheaper it is and it isn't. Most new homesteaders, it's not going to be cheaper, because you're going to go buy a bunch of feed for your animals, you're going to buy a bunch of supplies. It takes a couple of years to even out to where you accumulate the supplies and the knowledge and the know-how to eventually create, you know, your own food for your animals. So the notion that you're going to go start a homestead and raise chickens cheaper than it is at the store. I mean, chicken at the store right now is like $1.49 a pound or something. It's very difficult to do that at home. However, the chicken that you raise at home, you know where it came from, no medicines usually, it's local and pasture raised and has that added benefit, but it is not cheaper to do than going to purchase it at your local big store like Walmart. It can be, but that takes time and knowledge and the drive to create those systems, like sprouting your own fodder, or you know, building chicken tractors for your pastured chickens and things like that. So it is definitely not cheaper from the get-go to raise animals. Please don't think that you're going to save a ton of money by raising animals for your family, because it's just not going to happen. If you have the notion that you're going to go buy a bunch of birds, like Cornish crosses for chickens and hatching them, those suckers eat 2 pounds of feed for every pound of body weight, and then when you butcher them, they're about 10 pounds, 12 pounds. So at $13, $14, $15 a bag, that's a lot of money. You will probably, in the end, you have to factor in the time you're spending too, because at the end of it, you might spend a full day or a full weekend butchering 50 or 100 chickens, and your price might come out to $1.89 a pound or something, but you've also spent 3 days and the whole family's pitched in, and it's a great experience, but it's not something that's going to just be cheaper right off the bat. So anyway, those are our 5 ideas that we came up with, mistakes for new homesteaders make, and there's another 50 to go along with them, but those are the ones we think about. So anyway, we hope you all enjoyed this short little video, and we hope you all have a good night. And
it's depressing.
What's depressing?
I mean, it sounds depressing.
Homesteading is great.
It's valuable
fantastic,
to us.
but it's a lot of work.
It's fresh.
It costs money, and we're getting to the point now where we've been doing it for a year, and we've jumped into rabbits and chickens, and we have goats now. We don't buy milk anymore, we don't buy eggs, we raise our own meat with the chickens. I mean, we butcher our own chickens.
You just really have to factor in what is your end game, and what do you hope to get out of it. You know, what's more valuable to you. You know, spending, you know, weekends away, or you know, just being self-sufficient. You know, what is more valuable and more important to you. You know, there are so many things that we've done wrong, and so many things that we just thought was going to be so easy and won't cost that much, but it really, it has been a
slap in the face.
Yeah, a slap in the face, and I've wanted to smack him, he's wanted to smack me. But you just really have to figure out what is more important to you and to your family, what you want, and just all the reasons that we've given, you know, it just factors into that. But it's very satisfying for us, and this is what we love. You know, we love going out and taking care of our animals. I love milking Snowflake. We love being in the kitchen and making cheese, and you know, we love doing that. So you just have to figure out what you love and what makes you happy, and it may very well be worth it, you know. But
we decided to homestead to be self-sufficient in the event that we couldn't go to the store, or God forbid some crisis happens,
and being able to provide for yourself and for your family, that's priceless. You know, my dad once asked us, you know, we need to figure out how much the feed is, how much the animals are, how much this and that is, and if it's even worth it to do all this. But knowing if crap hits the fan and we're gonna be okay, that's priceless to me. Knowing that Michael is gonna be okay if crap hits the fan is absolutely priceless. So you just have to, if you have a survivalist mentality, if you want to be self-sufficient, all that is priceless.
Yeah, it's worth it in the long run.
And Daddy always tell my mom to get up and then when he milked the goat.
We can't sleep in anymore.
Yeah, there's no sleeping in. Somebody's got to get up and milk the goats. He said that I'm always telling Mama get up and go milk the goats. But I get up and leave Monday through Friday, so it's hard for me to get up and do it.
And she always get up, and last night she
Oh.
I guess not.
We started a homestead to be self-sufficient and to avoid any shortcomings for any type of issue, disaster, any hurricanes or floods or anything like that, something that would affect our way of life and going to the store. There's so many horror stories of things like that, and we wanted to be able to provide for ourselves if something did happen, and that's why we raise animals and why we feed them and why we, you know, grow food for them and why we preserve our food and all of that. It all just goes along with it. But anyway, we hope you enjoyed the video, and you guys have a great night.
Bye.
Say bye-bye.
Say good night.
Good night.
God bless.
Thank you for watching.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching.